I cannot wait to talk about this next story. I find it insanely hilarious. Nick Saban came out in front of a bunch of potential donors, businessmen in Alabama. He was complaining about NIL and said, quote, that Texas A&M bought every player on their team because A&M had the number one recruiting class ever this past signing day. And listen, the Aggies did buy every player on that team. But Nick Saban said it, and then Jimbo Fisher heard this and lost his mind, was complaining. Remember, Jimbo Fisher used to be an assistant under Nick Saban, beat him last year, first time an assistant has ever beaten Nick Saban. But he said that Nick Saban tried to call him, and Jimbo said, we're done. So now the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard feed, the algorithm I've been getting on my TikToks has been replaced with Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. I think both of these guys are in the wrong. I thought Nick was whining. I thought Jimbo Fisher whined even more. There's so much hypocrisy here. What was your take when you heard this? And by the way, Alabama 2-1 to win the national championship. Texas A&M is 20-1.
Thanks. I audibly gasped when I heard Nick Saban say this because I saw the headline on the tweet and I said to myself, there's no way he'd actually say this because Nick Saban's been in the game a long time. And normally he's not one to ignite other fan bases. He chooses his words very carefully. And I heard him say this, that Texas A&M bought every single player. He said those words, I believe. You listen to the quote and you're like, oh my God, there it is. He actually said this. And so you knew that Texas A&M was going to have a response. And it was like watching drama from the Real Housewives unfold live on my Twitter because I saw a tweet. Texas A&M is scheduled to have a press conference to talk about who knows. And then you see Jimbo Fisher get up there and talking 1,000 words a minute saying, this is despicable. I tell you what, Nick Saban is a narcissist. And I was like, oh my God. Did you hear what Jimbo Fisher said? Like, it wasn't just Nick Saban was wrong. He went personal. He went personal on Nick Saban, calling him a narcissist, saying that he's been at the top of the mountain so long that he feels like he can do whatever he wants. And he's been using these same rules to his advantage. And that's the bottom line for me. Don't complain about something where you all have the same rules. Yeah, you think it's unfair that they're buying all their players? Well, you have the same rules. Do it yourself. It's not like Alabama doesn't have deep pockets as well.
These two guys are both hypocrites. Number one, the game has changed for Saban. He doesn't like it because now he's having to adjust. He should have never called out Texas A&M. And by the way, he was absolutely appealing to the donors and the businessmen in front of him because he wants Alabama to have more money. Nick Saban got beat at his own game. This is the SEC. We all know what goes down here. So he should have never said anything. And Jimbo Fisher was even worse. This guy's the biggest hypocrite on the planet. We do things the right way. We always do things the right way. He admitted he has no idea what his boosters are doing. He said that. He says, I have no idea what our collective is doing. A&M doesn't even have a collective. Of course they paid players. Everyone knows it. Have you been to College Station? And I guarantee you, Aggies are eating this up. But Jimbo says, I don't know what these guys are doing, but also we always do things the right way. A&M is one of the dirtiest programs in college football history, going back to the 80s with Jackie Sherrill. And then Jimbo says, you know what? I'm always up for a fight. I kind of like it, but he won't accept Nick Saban's calls. Oh, you're up for a fight? You're ignoring him? Nick shouldn't have said anything. Jimbo shouldn't have said anything. These guys are whining about the same thing. I can't wait to see them get on the field and take it out there. But I find this whole thing hilarious.